Hey everyone, welcome to the video to install the PSI mounts for the AstroPixels lighting system in your Home Depot R2-D2. If you checked out the previous video for the logic display kit, welcome back. If you haven't seen that video, you might want to check it out. A couple quick reminders, please be gentle with the parts and don't over tighten them. If you have any broken or missing parts, send me a message on Etsy. Be sure to take your time with everything. And I also wanted to let you know that there's some flashing lights about 90 seconds and 4 minutes and 30 seconds into the video. And with that, let's get started with an overview of the parts and tools you'll need to complete this video. So you've got an info sheet with all your parts listed on the back. You've got the rear PSI mount and the white diffuser that goes with it, the front PSI mount and the white diffuser that goes with it, 2 interchangeable AstroPixels, 2 interchangeable locking rings, an optional hexagon insert, a diffuser for the back, and a diffuser for the front. So I'm recommending a 20 centimeter cable, a 30 centimeter extension cable, a 10 centimeter cable. You also have 2 command strips. You'll need your microcontroller, of course, and then a power supply, such as a USB power bank, a USB-C cable. You'll definitely need a screwdriver, and the other tools are handy to have. You can create a few different looks depending on what you use. The translucent diffuser by itself is the brightest. When you pair it with the white diffuser, it's a little softer and dimmer. If you go ahead and add the hexagon insert, you get an interesting look. You can move that hexagon insert around as well. This is the translucent diffuser and just the hexagon insert, which is fairly bright. You can also push that hexagon insert further back to get more of an organic shape. My favorite is the translucent diffuser with the white diffuser. And there's been so much variation in the way these lights look on the R2 props over the years, from the very first movie to the prequels to the current movies and TV shows. And the technology has changed from mechanical lighting systems to more modern LED lighting systems. And so the lights have gotten brighter, and it really comes down to, I think, what look you prefer. I don't think there's any right or wrong. I mean, heck, R2 has been fully CG in some of the movies. So you may want to just play around with some of the combinations, maybe just on your desk before you go ahead and even install them, and, check them out. Turn off the lights, see what you think. Go ahead and loosen the wing nut and undo the blue clip and take off the dome, set it aside. Grab your screwdriver, loosen up the 2 screws that are holding on the stock front PSI. Go ahead and keep those handy. Since this is a no-cutting solution, we're going to go ahead and take one of the command strips, and we're just going to stick it to the front of the stock PSI, and then we're just going to stick it on the side of the dome. And this way, we have an undo button. We can go back if we want to. My dome was a little bit dusty on the inside, so you might want to wipe that clean first before you stick it on. Then we're going to go ahead and undo the 2 screws on the back PSI. Exact same way. We're going to go ahead and store those screws for later. Then go ahead and take your second command strip and do the same thing. Just go ahead and stick it on and just stick it in a place that's out of the way. Next up, we're going to install the LEDs, cable, and diffuser into the front PSI. So the front white diffuser has a teeny tiny little pull tab on it. That's one way to tell the 2 apart. You just want to go ahead and put it in there. It's a friction fit. It should stay put though. There's 2 little cutouts. One has a big notch and the other one is 2 little notches. What these do is they help you align the LED array so that it's level. And then also, depending on the position you want, it will determine the direction of the lights. So to illustrate that a little bit better, position A, it's going to sweep blue to red from left to right, as you can see here. And then if you rotate the board 180 degrees into position B, that gives you a red to blue sweep from left to right. This also applies to the back PSI, where you can have a green to orange or orange to green, depending on the position. And then grab one of the 2 interchangeable lock rings. I recommend just lining it up with position A, and then just twist it about a 1/2 inch and it'll lock into place. And if you want to unlock it, twist it the opposite way. Then you're going to go ahead and take the 20 centimeter cable, and then just make sure that the white wire lines up to signal on the 3-pin connector. And if you want to try the hexagon insert, you can also put that in, and you can move it into a couple of different positions. You can slide it forward, you can slide it back, and that will vary the look. And this insert is just friction fit, so there's nothing fancy going on here, but it should stay in fine. Quick note, if you have the hex diffuser and you want to take out the white diffuser, you can always try that little pull tab, or you can just grab a screwdriver or pen to pop it out. Go ahead and grab the smaller round diffuser. This is going to be sitting in the dome first, and then we're going to go ahead and take the LED holder and put that on top of it, which is going to hold in the diffuser. So the diffuser has 2 sides to it. You want to take the side that has a little bit of texture and put that in face down, so that that's what will show from the outside. Go ahead and take your LED mount, and you'll notice there's an L that should be on the left side. You may need to push on this a bit. Go ahead and take your screws and screw them in, and then go ahead and check it from the outside. The back PSI mount also has a white diffuser. The tab on this one's a little bit longer. You're going to put it in the same way that you did for the front. Then grab your AstroPixels board, and you can line it up either position A or position B, depending on the direction of the sweep you want. Once that's in place, grab the remaining twist lock ring, go ahead and line it up to position A, and just give it a 1/2 inch clockwise turn to lock it in place. Grab your 30 centimeter extension cable and your 10 centimeter cable and connect those 2 together. Connect either end of the cable to the board. Just make sure that white is lined up with signal. A quick note about this diffuser. On the Home Depot R2-D2, the back or rear PSI, it's a bit of an oval shape. So that is why this has a bit of an oval shape, so that it will fit the cutout. But you may need to go ahead and twist it a little bit, because it's not going to go in like a circle. So you'll just need to play around with it when you put it in and make sure that it's lining up, which means that you might have to twist it ever so slightly because it will go in a very specific way. Then grab your PSI mount, make sure that left is on the left. Go ahead and place it on top of the diffuser in the dome. So grab your screwdriver, grab your 2 screws, go ahead and screw them into place, making sure to not over tighten anything. Then go ahead and check it. You can double check your cables, make sure that they're in the right slots. And the next step is going to be connecting these 2 cables to the microcontroller. If you've already installed the logic display kit, you will already have this microcontroller box installed. It does not come with the PSI kit, but it does come with the logic display kit. You can also get the microcontroller box separately on Etsy if you need it. So go ahead and take the lid off, and you'll notice that there's 2 connectors labeled FPSI and RPSI. And just make sure that the white wire in the cable is closest to the text. And then we're going to do the same thing for the back or rear PSI, making sure that the white wire in the cable is closest to the text. And double check everything, and then go ahead and put this back into the box try to route the cables off to the right side and then put the lid on. And then when you go ahead and take a look at it, you should see that all the cables should be coming out of the little cutout. Next up, we're going to test the lights with the power bank, or if you already have a power supply you're using, you can go ahead and use that. For this demo, I'm going to be using a USB power bank and a USB-C cable. I'm going to go ahead and plug that into the microcontroller and then plug it into the power bank. Then give it a second or two, and you should be able to see the front PSI light. You can go ahead and spin it around and check the back PSI light. And if it's not working, you should go ahead and check your wiring. That blue connector, by the way, no longer serves a purpose, so you can just go ahead and wrap it around the top and just tuck it up there out of the way. You don't need to reconnect it at this point. And for power, I'm still using the same power bank that I bought about a month ago for my R2. And what I like is that it has AC for the stock controller, and then it has multiple USB outputs. Also picked up this USB Wi-Fi on-off switch that I like a lot. This plugs into the power bank, and then I run a cable to the AstroPixels microcontroller. I also ended up buying a USB on-off switch, which is also convenient. You can just pop off the radar eye and turn it off and on if, Wi-Fi isn't available. And all of this outputs 5 volts, which is exactly what the AstroPixels microcontroller wants. And of course, all this plugs into the microcontroller, and all this goes inside of R2. And it seems like it's pretty tidy, pretty clean, and pretty simple. And I really like the flexibility of having Wi-Fi because I can schedule when R2 comes on and when it goes off. And it's just very convenient to be able to do that from my phone or tablet. And this has been my setup for a month or two, and it seems to be working perfectly fine. I haven't found any problems with it yet, and R2 seems to be perfectly fine with it all. And I also want to mention the green connector on the microcontroller. The AstroPixels website does recommend using this because they mention that the USB-C connector on the microcontroller is fragile. So you can get USB-C cables with wires on the end. They're called pigtails. And you can connect those wires to the green connector if you want to. And then those USB-C cables or USB-A cables connect to a supply that feeds the microcontroller the 5 volts that it needs. For my use case, I'm not disconnecting and reconnecting the USB-C cable from the microcontroller that often, so I'm fine just using a regular USB-C cable. And I still love the convenience of plugging in the stock controller into this power bank, and then I just charge the power bank. It's usually plugged in all the time, but it's just nice having one small cable coming up into the R2 body. So then go ahead and put the head back on. If you're all done, you don't need to connect the blue wire, tighten up the wing nut, put the cover back on, and enjoy your upgraded droid with AstroPixels. Really appreciate all of your comments. If you have any questions, feel free to send them to me via Etsy. And thank you so much for watching, and take care.